Hey everyone! This week I've got an eye tutorial since I've been working on another episode of What's Its Face all week. By Friday I realized I had nothing to post today, so I chose the easiest sounding idea on my list, and this was it. It turned out to not be so easy since one tip leads to another, and I was having a really hard time deciding on what advice to give and what to save for a later tutorial. But I think I have something to be proud of, so I hope you all enjoy it. For those of you who don't know me, I am Cyprus. I mainly do Wings of Fire-centered videos and art with some Fablehaven art thrown in, and lots of studies and doodles. This will be my third tutorial now, and there's links to the playlist with the other two in the description. And now, without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. So, eyes are one of the most important parts of any drawing, yet despite their small size, many artists struggle with them. I'm working in Autodesk Sketchbook for this tutorial, but I do want to note that Autodesk functions differently depending on whether you're using a mouse or a drawing tablet. Because you don't have pen pressure with a mouse, many of the brushes I commonly use won't work the same. This isn't a problem with some other brushes, just know that if something looks different for you, it might be because you're using a mouse. So let's start at the beginning. Eye shape is very important. I usually use something triangular. Now that doesn't mean I always stick rigidly to a rule of triangles. Like most rules, this one is made to be broken, or at least bent a little from time to time. In general, the opener and larger your triangle, the happier or more surprised your dragon is. The smaller and more closed it is, the angrier or sadder your dragon will look. You can usually pick this up pretty easily. Since I always begin with a sketch when I draw, here's what some sketchy eyes look like. This would be to give me an idea of where the eyes go and what direction the dragon is looking more than anything else. Next is the lines. This is where I clean up my sketch and make it nice looking. Now I go down to a layer below the lines and fill the irises in with color and the whites in with white. There are a couple of different ways I do this depending on the dragon. Also, for Nightwings or Sandwings, I usually make the whites of the eyes black to stick to canon. I color my irises 3 different ways, depending on the dragon. For something simple like a character design or a sketch or a small image, I would do a plain iris like this. One color, done. If I want a little bit more detail in there, I might do a gradient iris. This means 3 to 5 different shades in the eye. It's pretty easy too, and if I'm doing a finished piece like a poster, I'll do something that I call a streak iris, which is a name that I made up 5 minutes ago. Basically, it's just a gradient with little shiny streaks of color around the pupil to make it look a little bit more realistic. Most of the time when you zoom out you can barely tell it's there, which is why I only really do this for my larger images. That's one of the nice things about drawing eyes. Since they're so small most of the time, once you zoom out to the proper size, they tend to look fine. Having the correct shape makes all the difference you need. Also, on that note, don't be afraid to use crazy colors for your dragon's eyes. I mean, if you're gonna draw a dragon, you're already making it up as you go, so why not go all out? I mean, Kinkajou has pink eyes, and you're not going to change my mind. Next, I go up on a layer above the line layer and add the shine to the eye. This is where the light hits the sphere of the eyeball and glances off. I do this in many different ways. Generally, the bigger the shine is, the cuter your eye looks. Adding a few extra shines can accomplish this too. For angry eyes, I usually only have one very thin, very long shine. Lastly, I make one more layer for the shade of the eye. This layer goes under the shine layer and above the line layer, just between them. This just helps give the eye depth and make it seem round, like a real eye. Even if I'm not shading something, I usually still do this because it makes all the difference. The shade layer is set to multiply, and I usually lower the opacity to something like 25%. Also, last but not least, eyebrows! I didn't draw them for my example, but I am so a believer in eyebrows on dragons. Heck yes, eyebrows are so great for expressions. Alright, before I finish, I just want to show you really quick how eye shape and pupil size can dramatically affect a drawing. So I have this dragon head, as you can see. Watch as I draw these 3 different eyes onto it. Just by varying my eye shape and pupil size, I gave the same dragon 3 totally different expressions. I didn't even use a mouth. It just goes to show how much you can express with just one well-drawn eye. Or 2 if your dragon's looking forward. Also, I have a quick example of pupil sizes for you. The bigger the pupil is, the happier your dragon tends to be. And when the pupil is small and slitted, kind of like a cat's eye, it tends to be an angry dragon. And, of course, we have this pupil for the occasional love-struck dragon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this and that it taught you something. Remember that the best way to learn in the end is to get out and practice for yourself, whether digitally or traditionally. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, check out the links in the description, and please have a wonderful week.